You buy a camera, it has a sensor in it, and if you're shooting 16:9 video, you are always shooting cropped. Meaning, if you're shooting 16:9 video from almost any camera that you're buying, you're not recording the whole sensor. And you might say, well, the whole sensor is just for photos. I don't need that for video. But if you know about OpenGate, you should know that it gives you way more flexibility in terms of cropping your footage after the fact. You can get your 16:9 exactly how you would be filming it cropped, but you also get that vertical slice for vertical content, whether that's for social media or maybe you have a specialty display where you need a tall video screen. At the end of the day, I think if you're buying a camera and it has a sensor inside of it, you should want to record the whole thing. You're getting the full value of that device if you're shooting OpenGate or with the full sensor. Beyond that though, beyond just the horizontal and vertical and some of the cool flexible framing you can do after the fact in terms of how you crop your footage, the other value occurred to me just the other day when this came up because I was going through some old footage because I had to do the dreaded thing that we all hate to do, but we had to pull screenshots as photos. I know, it's the worst thing. It's a huge no-no. But on this particular project, we hadn't shot the photos we needed, but we had great video coverage. And so we needed to pull screenshots because we needed photos. The cool thing about OpenGate is that those screenshots look a lot more like photos because they're actually the full sensor, the whole thing. This particular project was shot with a GH5, actually. And so it was 4:3. And 4:3 is a great photography format. You know, there's 3:2 is another one. And honestly, if you're picking between the two in terms of OpenGate, like the best version of OpenGate, the squarer kind of the better. So 4:3 is a better OpenGate format, I think, than 3:2. But that aside, just the fact of having these screenshots from video they looked a lot more like photos just because they didn't have that traditional 16:9 crop. Had we shot 16:9 for this project, the screenshots would have looked like screenshots, I think, just because it's just the standard TV size that everyone's, knows. And so it was this really weird, like after all these years of doing OpenGate production and getting the benefits of horizontal and vertical and cropping all from the same footage and not having to shoot things twice or shoot with two different cameras or turn my camera vertical and build a vertical rig and then flip it to have a horizontal rig just to shoot everything OpenGate. So I have all those benefits. But then lo and behold, there's these other hidden benefits that I didn't realize until just now after almost 10 years of doing this. Because usually I'm taking photos when I need photos and I'm shooting video when I need video and trying to do both. But for this particular project, we had to go back to the video to pull photos and it looked so nice because it was OpenGate. I don't know. I just think that's kind of cool. I think that's kind of fun. It's like a hidden, unexpected thing that like you'll thank yourself for later. So if you're still limited to a camera that only shoots 16:9, like that's fine. You can make it work. Plenty of people have been. But also, I think OpenGate is just becoming that new standard, the new norm that I feel like really needs to be embraced more widely than it is. And I guarantee you, the moment these companies start adding it as a feature to their camera, they're going to put it everywhere in their marketing. We've got OpenGate full sensor recording. Meanwhile, if you're in the know, a lot of us have been doing this for quite a while. I think the first stuff I started shooting this way was 2017, like intentionally. I was using OpenGate back when it was called anamorphic. And I was doing that for anamorphic stuff, but it was around that time, like connecting the dots. I think it was on the GH4 actually, shooting anamorphic OpenGate that I realized, oh wow, you don't even need an anamorphic lens and this is still powerful. This is still valuable. So if you know, you know. And if you don't know, just know that you're shooting cropped. If you're shooting 16:9 video, you're shooting cropped. And for as much as people talk about what's the crop factor and, oh, my camera's full frame and you have micro four thirds and you shoot, what's the crop factor? You're shooting 16:9. You are cropped. You're cropped. You're cooked. You're fine. But still, you're cropped. I like the option. I don't record everything in OpenGate, but when I do, I definitely do so for good reason and good intent, beyond just, hey, I can cut a vertical from this much easier. And it is easier. I've done some stuff recently, shooting 16:9, shooting with that crop baked right in, and after the fact, kind of regretting it. Now, it does come with some additional file size. So that's my consideration there. Usually when I'm deciding between OpenGate or 16:9, I'm really making the decision on, yes, final delivery metrics, but also what do I need in terms of file space? Not usually my memory cards. My memory cards are plenty fine. But if I'm going to shoot something, and if it's long form, long takes, and it's going to be sitting on a hard drive for years, how much additional space do I want to dedicate to that? Because something like the S5 Mark II, when I'm shooting OpenGate, it's 3x2, and that's 6K. Whereas I can shoot 16:9, 4K. And so those are the considerations I'm kind of calculating in my mind. How much extra file storage do I need just for this benefit of vertical? And sometimes it's not always necessary, right? Sometimes you really know you only need 16:9, and that's fine. I make that decision often. But I also often use OpenGate because it's so powerful. Not only am I getting more resolution on the S5 Mark II, I'm getting 6K, so I have more resolution, but I also have the horizontal and vertical, easy. And if I need to take a screenshot to pull a photo from my video, well, all of a sudden, now it actually looks like a photo, and it doesn't look like a lame screenshot from a video. So a lot of things just to keep in mind. If you can, record your whole sensor. That's what you do with raw photography. No one, if you need to deliver immediately, sure, shoot cropped JPEGs. That's fine. But one of the beauties of raw photos is that it's the full sensor, and you can crop, slice, and dice however you want after the fact. The same benefits are true for video. They're just not as widely known, just because I think these features haven't existed on most cameras for a while now. So there's been nothing to market. There's been nothing to promote. There's been nothing to hype. But it's a great feature. So take advantage of it. Use it. Again, if you're worried about file space, that's a consideration. If you know you only need 16:9, that's fine. But oftentimes, I think you'll be surprised the benefits of OpenGate beyond just cropping. Because there's always like hidden ones, little surprises, little gotchas that get you later and you go, wow, I'm glad I did that way. Give yourself a pat on the back for what you did in the past. Thanks, past me. And then I'm hoping that right now, am setting future me up for success as well. Shooting things in the best way possible to kind of future-proof them. So 5 years from now, that future me can look back and say, thanks, me, for helping me out. You saved the day. You did something awesome. I appreciate it.